Hi, my name is Simarpreet Bashal, and this is my presentation on the neuroscience behind near-death experiences. And my mentor was Rahul. Okay, who am I? I'm a junior at Central Bucks South High School, and I live on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. In my sophomore year of high school, I took AP Biology, and I absolutely loved it. I was fascinated and pulled in deeper into the subject by every passing unit. One unit in special was when we learned about neurology and the brain sciences. That small peek into this vast field just wasn't enough for me. I wanted to learn more, which landed me to my topic today, which is the neuroscience behind near-death experiences. Near-death experiences, or NDEs, have long captivated the human imagination. While these ethereal encounters are often thought of as spiritual phenomena, scientists are trying to understand the underlying mechanisms behind these extraordinary events. What is a near-death experience, you may ask? Well, to describe it is to describe color. You really can't fully understand it unless you have experienced it, making studying and concluding NDE research challenging. NDEs pose numerous unanswered questions within the realms of medicine and basic science. The first medical report of NDEs came from a French physician, Pierre-Jean Dumonchot, in 1740. He discovered that excessive blood flow to the brain could account for the mystical sensations people describe experiencing when they regain consciousness. Furthermore, a young psychiatrist, Dr. Russell Noyes, published journal articles on the topic even before Raymond Moody, a young psychiatrist, coined the term near-death experiences. As NDE cases continue to grow, so do the explanations I've approached to understand the phenomenon of NDEs from a psychological and neurological perspective as well. Let us hone in on one of them, which is brain hypoxia. In current times, different theories and explanations that have been proposed to understand the phenomenon of near-death experiences from psychological and neurological perspective. Such theories include temporal lobe activity, DMT, and neuroplasticity, and altered connectivity. Specifically, let's focus on hypoxia. During NDEs, the brain becomes a hypoxic environment, meaning that the cells and tissues receive little to no oxygen, causing severe symptoms such as a change in skin color, cough, or fast heart rate. In this diagram to the side, you can see the difference between a normoxia, a normal oxygen environment, versus hypoxia, a little oxygen, deprived oxygen environment. When hypoxia occurs in mammals, specifically humans, we will initiate a series of downstream pathways, which are hypoxia-inducible factors, autophagy, energy metabolic pathways, and cell stress pathways. HIF transcription factor specifically sends the hypoxic environment in the cells and react by inducing metabolic changes, regulating cell proliferation, controlling an inflammatory response, etc. The HIF pathway explains how oxygen is sensed by cells and how they control downstream signal transduction. The HIF family includes HIF1, HIF2 subunits, and HIF3 encompassing HIF1 and HIF2 in itself, as you can see in the diagram in front of you. In hypoxia, prolyl hydroxylase, or PHG inhibition, prevents HIF hydroxylation and degradation. HIF subunits form transcriptional complexes in the nucleus, activating downstream gene via hypoxia-responsive elements, which are called HREs. One area of function in HIFs and hypoxia effect is the hippocampus, a region of the brain crucial for memory and learning. Reduced oxygen levels during hypoxia may lead to neuronal damage and impair the hippocampal functions, affecting cognitive processes. Prolonged or severe hypoxia may contribute to memory deficits, structural destabilization of the hippocampal neurocircuits, and cognitive impairment associated with conditions such as stroke or chronic respiratory disease. However, NDEs not only affect the hippocampus. Another area affected is brain networks. The brain is a complex organ which performs various functions. The organ includes different patterns of structural connections that support cognition and a variety of behaviors. These patterns are called brain networks. The brain network system includes many different cell types, but the most prominent are neurons and nerve cells, which aid our body in transmitting and processing information. There are many brain networks, some of which include the limbic system, visual system, central executive network system. But when it comes to NDEs and their effect on neural networks, there are a few perspectives. Specifically, in the visual system, Individuals often report experiencing vivid visual phenomena, such as seeing a bright light, encountering deceased loved ones, or viewing scenes from their lives. These visual perceptions can sometimes be experienced with heightened clarity and detail. It's possible that the brain's processing of visual information is altered during NDEs, leading to these unique and intense visual experiences. NDEs are not just seen in brain networks themselves, but the parts made up of them, specifically as well, such as neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are essential chemical messengers that tell your body that help your body to function. They carry chemical signals from one neuron to another or a target cell. Releases of specific neurotransmitters and neurochemicals, including serotonin, have been linked to NDEs. Near-death experiences have been associated with alterations in neurotransmitter release, potentially impacting the regulation of consciousness and perception. It is hard to understand exactly what an NDE is and how it affects you with such minute information. Taking a look at specific cases, we can truly learn from real-world experiences and form a human connection. The first case is about a 30-year-old woman who was sent to emergency with a significant head urgency and a Glasgow Coma Scale score of E1, V1, M2. The Glasgow Coma Scale is used to score how much a patient is conscious based on the three aspects: eye-opening, motor, and verbal responses. She underwent surgery on three aspects. On a left side acute subdural hematoma, claiming that she floated while in a light. She then traveled to heaven, where a hierarchy of gods were present. Another patient, a 22-year-old graduate student, suffered an allergic reaction. He suffered 10 minutes in cardiac arrest. He also had an out-of-body experience. These two patients' accounts report NDEs to be a non-pathological experience that involves the psychological processes of dissociation as a response to trauma. Despite the existence of neurophysiological, neurochemical, or neurohormonal ideas concerning it, trauma and other related factors could help in diagnosing NDEs and preventing them as well. This leads to a very important question. Are NDEs really proof of heaven, life after death, and the existence of God? NDEs are naturally explained and thought of as vivid and sharp recollections with physical experiences that strongly resemble reality. NDEs have been cited by many as a proof of heaven, life after death, and existence of God. However, such similarity raises the possibility that NDEs derive from something more fundamental than cultural or religious expectations, presumably. NDEs are a reflection of changes in the brain's physiological makeup as we go closer to death. In a 2019 study, scientists compared the stories of 625 individuals who had near-death experiences with those over 15,000 people who had used various psychoactive drugs. Ketamine in particular seemed to produce experiences closely resembling NDEs. This suggests that NDEs might involve changes in the brain's chemical system targeted by drugs like ketamine. The stories concerning hallucinogens and psychedelics had the most parallels to NDEs when memories of drug effects were compared to the NDEs. And the most frequently used to describe both NDEs and ketamine experiences was the word reality. However, there is a slight issue with this study. It is intriguing, but far from conclusive to say that it was ketamine usage and near-death experiences that caused the same chemical processes in the brain. It would be difficult technically and morally to conduct the kinds of investigations required to support this concept, such as monitoring neurochemical alterations in severely ill patients. The authors of this study instead advocate for a more realistic and practical proposal, which was to use ketamine therapeutically, inducing an NDE-like state in mentally ill patients as a preview to alleviate their death-related activities. In conclusion, by exploring the molecular and neural and experiential aspects of NDEs shed light on profound mysteries related to them. This exploration may not only provide solace to those who have encountered NDEs, but also to our understanding of the human brain, consciousness, and intricate interplay between the physiology and subjective experiences. As we continue to unravel the complexities of NDEs in the human mind, let us approach these experiences with curiosity and compassion, for they hold the key to unlocking our understanding of life, death, and the mysteries of being human. Thank you. Questions?
Great job. All right, we have one question here. What impact do psychoactive drugs have on oxygen levels in the body?
Okay, so basically the study was focused around how like NDEs, and let me just go back to it. Not letting me go back to the slide, but let me just elaborate on what I was about to say. So the study was basically focused around like ketamine usage and like different psychedelic drugs and how they relate to NDEs. And they did show to have like similar effects on like oxygen deprived environments and hypoxia. That's what like led them to the thinking behind like how they're connected together and how like the patients themselves describe like the word reality and how they experience the same things within NDEs and taking like drugs like ketamine and stuff.
Got it. All right. Great work.